Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another match here on WWE 2K25. In this one, then, we have got the Nasty Boyz representing WWF. We have got KroniK for WCW, and we have got Public Enemy for ECW. In a match of three teams that have not had a lot of opportunities in the last, 5 years now I've been doing this? I think the most matches for one of these teams is the Nasty Boyz, who's had three. Two of those back in 2021 and one in 2023. And they currently sit on +1 from that. We have got then Brian Knobbs, who is the blonde, and we have Jerry Sags, who is the darker hair. And I think these guys have worked for literally everybody. I think they've worked for all three of these companies, ECW, WCW, WWF, but today they're representing WWF. I think they've also worked TNA, I seem to remember, when Hogan came in. I think the Nasty Boyz did a bit of work. They've worked NWA. They've worked bloody everywhere. Everyone that will give them a paycheck they've gone for. I don't blame them. I like the Nasty Boyz. They're an interesting dynamic of a team. So next up then, representing WCW, we have the team of KroniK. Two guys making their debuts, technically. This is Brian Adams and Brian Clark. Both of which do have different characters elsewhere. I think we have seen both of them once a time in our universe mode. So on the left there with the mustache, that man there, that is Brian Clark. And this one here with the little soul patchy beard thing is Brian Adams. Brian Clark also played the role of Raph in WCW and Adam Bomb in WWF. Whereas Brian Adams was probably best known in his time in WWF as Crush. But because those are very different characters to these, we are going to keep them separate in the ranking system. So technically, both these guys are making their debuts. And also, the tag team is making their debut as well in our universe mode. So what a chance to walk straight in and pick up a big victory in your debut. Remember, this is worth 3 points in the ranking system. So if you're on 0 and you get the win, you can move yourself up into the top 25 straight off the bat. And all of a sudden, you're asking questions of me to give you more opportunities. And finally then, we have got the Public Enemy, who have had 2 matches so far in the history of this universe mode, both back in 2021 as part of our original Hardcore Championship tournament. They won the first round, got knocked out in the second round, so they currently sit on 0 after 2 matches. We have got Johnny Grunge here with the shorter hair and the ponytail. And then we have got Rocco Rock there with the dreads? Want to call them dreads? I'm not up on hair, so yeah. You know what I mean. Right. Let's crack-a-lack into the action then. So yeah, all three of these teams, I mean, the Nasty Boyz have done the most. They're on +1 after 3 matches. Public Enemy on 0 after 2. KroniK making their debut. It shows they're not 3 teams that are getting the most opportunities, but it does show just how important it is to get a win here. Like I said, the idea of these sort of matches are you get the chance, you've got to take the chance. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to prove themselves to you guys. I want to see more, you want to see more, and all of a sudden they get booked more. That's the whole idea. So, of course, we are keeping track of all of the victories over the last couple of weeks as well, in the grand scheme of this tournament in general. And, of course, every single match we've done over the past couple of weeks has been WWF versus WCW versus ECW. And currently it's ECW in the lead with 14 victories. WCW are just behind with 13 victories, and WWF are miles behind on only 9. And of course we only have 11 matches left, including this one, so WWF need to have a very good day if they want to stay in this. I mean, it's just a couple of wins away for ECW, and all of a sudden WWF are out. They can't win at all, so it's going to be interesting. Of course, the Nasty Boyz are the big ones here today. We've got 6 matches today lined up overall. I'll read them out to you, and of course the format will be WWF name, WCW name, ECW name, so you know who's who. So after this one, we'll have Hakushi versus the Great Muta versus Hayabusa. The winner of that one will go on to tomorrow's pay-per-view to fight for the All-Asian Championship alongside Giant Baba and Ultimo Dragon. We'll have S.A. Rios versus Lash LaRue versus Chris Chetty. It's a bit of a random on that one, but it's 3 guys that I don't think we've barely ever used ever in the past. We've got Bam Bam Bigelow versus Chris Kanyon versus Chris Candido. That's a really good one, that one. I like that one. We've got Al Snow versus Crowbar versus Sabu. Before the final match of the day, which will be Kurt Angle versus Chris Jericho. versus Chris Benoit. The winner of that one will go on to main event tomorrow's pay-per-view alongside Will Ospreay and Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental Championship. And already we know we're going to have 6 championship matches at that pay-per-view tomorrow. We've got Giant Baba versus Ultimo Dragon versus the winner of that match between Hakushi, Muta and Hayabusa. We will have Aja Kong defending the Women's Hardcore Championship against Bull Nakano and Jazz. We've got Leah Rush defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Juventud Guerrera. John Moxley defending the Underground Championship against Tank Abbott. We've got, of course, the main event, Will Ospreay, Shawn Michaels, and the winner of that match tomorrow. Oh, later on today, actually, isn't it? Between Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, and Chris Benoit. And also, we have the YouTube Tag Team Championship match at the moment. You guys are voting on that. If you've not done so already, head over to the channel, head to the, I think it's the post tab, and you should be able to see 3 current polls. At the moment, for WWF, it's being won by the Hardy Boys. They've got 83% of the votes. WCW is a bit closer. Currently, Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk have 42% of the votes, and just behind them, the Natural Born Thrillers, Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Hare with 33%. And for ECW at the moment, it is the Eliminators currently leading that poll with 50% of the votes, with the FBI, Little Guido and Tony Marmaluke behind with 33%. So it should be interesting. So into the rules of this, it is a 6-man elimination essentially, or a triple threat tag elimination match. To be eliminated, both members of the team have to be pinned or submitted. And essentially the last person or team standing will win the match. It is Falls Count Anywhere. It is no disqualifications. Weapons are fully encouraged, not only allowed. And ranking points wise, it will be 3 points for the winning team in the tag team rankings, as well as 1 point each in the singles rankings. And it will be -1 for the 2 teams that lose, and -1 for the 4 individuals from those 4 teams as well. So yeah, if you win this, like I said, it puts you up 3 points, which is going to force any one of these teams right into the thick of it, into the top 25 of the current tag team rankings. Right, so we're currently looking at Brian Adams here striking Jerry Sag. Then Johnny Grunge comes up behind and throws him over the top. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, all 3 of these teams are pretty brutal. I think they're all pretty confident with their weaponry as well. So it could be very interesting how this does plan out. As well tomorrow, apart from the pay-per-view, we've got 4 other matches coming up for you. We've got Yokozuna versus Giant Haystacks versus Big Sal Graziano. We're going to have an Express match, the Orient Express versus the Midnight Express versus the Rock and Roll Express. We've got Vader versus Sid Vicious versus Mike Awesome. Before the final match tomorrow, before the pay-per-view, Rikishi versus Haku. There we go, we had a classic crash there, we're back on it now. You've missed nothing, I was just talking bollocks anyway, so it is what it is. So no one's been eliminated as of yet, but as we do know, the numbers advantage is solely with the people who have still got 2 people. Obviously that makes sense, doesn't it? But the person who gets eliminated first, generally their team is got no chance. I mean, it's possible, but really it's I think we've only seen 1 match that's actually gone down to not being a 2-on-1 situation so far in these tag team matches. I think that was the one we had yesterday, was it? Where it ended up with literally a triple threat with 1 member of each team left. But normally, yeah, it was the Head Shrinkers versus Legion of Doom versus the Steiner Brothers, wasn't it? Normally, it is very, very obvious when someone gets eliminated, they're gone. The entire team. The first elimination is just, it's brutal. You get left on your own against 2 sets of 2 people that are together. It's just, you're buggered. Alright then, I'm struggling with this because I'm trying to remember who's who on the front. I know all these people, but it's the Nasty Boys always throw me off. Brian Knobbs is the blonde, Jerry Sags is the darker hair. You've got Rocco Rock with the dreads. Working off against, that is Brian Adams, who has the black hair. And Brian Clark's hair is slightly less, it's more brown. There's Rocco Rock now in the ring. Getting absolutely flattened by Brian Knobbs. Great camera work there. Not quite sure that's what the camera was trying to do. There's the choke slam there by Brian Clark on Johnny Grunge. Is it going to be the first elimination? It's not yet. We only saw the first person to ever go through the announce table recently, and all of a sudden, we're seeing it a bit more often. Is it part of a patch that's been done recently? Oh, referee, cameraman. The cameraman's taking us away from potential through the announce table. Are we going to get it, are we? No, we're going to suplex off of the table. Great. So it is Brian Knobbs inside the ring then with Rocco Rock. And look at that Alabama slam by Brian Adams on Johnny Grunge. And Knobbs now, I thought he was going to go for the splash in the corner once again, but he's too busy torn away. No, he is going to go for that clothesline into the corner. There's the pin, as he just gets a bottle of water thrown at him, which is a bit weird, but there you go. Knobbs now with the elbow across the head of Brian Adams several times, as there's the sit-out powerbomb by Rocco Rock on Brian Clark. There's the pin. It's not even a 1 count. As Knobbs now in the ring on Brian Adams. There's the running power slam. That could be enough for the first elimination. Referee counts. No, it's only a 2 count again. We're getting close to the time where we are going to see an elimination soon, aren't we? Definitely. Knobbs now just raking the face across and dropping the elbow into the back. Remember how important this victory is for the Nasty Boyz and WWF. They want to stay in this battle. If they're going to do that, they need to win the majority of these matches. There's a low blow there, mid of the ring. It's completely legal, though. Oh my God, look at the power here. Brian Adams just hoisting Rocco Rock above their head. Brian Clark now with Johnny Grunge up. There's the Gorilla Press, the powerbomb onto the apron, then swung around into the apron as well. As Jerry Sags now with the elbows into the head. Look at a big powerbomb inside the ring by Brian Adams. There's the pin. This could be the first elimination. It's not. KroniK have impressed me though. They have done some pretty cool moves so far. The elbows in the gut there by Brian Knobbs on Rocco Rock. And now this is Jerry Sags taking up Adams in with a pump handle drop. There's the pin. Is it gone? No, it's only a 2 count. Straight into the ring post there. Johnny Grunge sending Knobbs. There's a choke slam now. He doesn't go for the pin. I don't know why. I'm liking KroniK, you know. I'm liking KroniK a lot. We're going to see another powerbomb now. This time by Brian Clark. He's going to powerbomb him to the outside. Oh, onto the baseball bat covered in barbed wire. Damage done. They should have gone for the pin. That easily would have been enough, surely. Just powerbomb the guy to the outside onto a baseball bat covered in barbed wire. How is that not enough? Put the roll up now on Rocco Rock. Still only a 2 count. That's Samoan drop there by Johnny Grunge on Brian Knobbs. Like I said, this first elimination is so important. We're going to see a pump handle onto the shoulders. In the pump handle slam by Brian Clark. There's the pin. Brian Adams takes out the other one. And we could be seeing... No, it's still not an elimination. Bloody hell. There's the DDT. And now we're going to see again the announce table for a change. Still having a chat up the top. Johnny Grunge fighting back. Now going after Brian Knobbs. We're not going to see through the announce table yet. There's the power. Everyone's loving the power slam today, aren't they? Pin by Brian Knobbs on Johnny Grunge. No, still only a 2 count. How? Look at the strength here. Oh, onto the gut buster there by Brian Adams. There's the pin. Still only a 2. No one's leaving this match. Everyone's determined to win. Kendo stick snapped across the spine of Jerry Sags. There's the pin. Brian Knobbs is out, and there finally we have a first elimination, and it goes against the WWF. My God, do you need that? WWF, you need this to be a win. I think KroniK might have this, you know. If KroniK win this, then WCW will join ECW on 14 victories apiece at the top. It's all about the next elimination, you know. If someone can eliminate somebody from one of the teams with 2 people, all of a sudden there's a massive advantage on hand. It's not guaranteed though. We saw it ourselves the other day when the Legion of Doom had a 2-on-1-on-1 advantage and still managed to fluff it and lose the match. That running clothesline there absolutely flattened Johnny Grunge. That was Brian Clark. Brian Adams now going to head up to the top. He's going to go for a dive. He does. In with the elbow drop to the spine of Brian Knobbs. There's the pin. This could be both parts of the Nasty Boyz gone. No, it's only a 2 count. Stiff clothesline once again by Adams. Then he catches Rocco. Rocco was running in. Pump handled up onto the shoulder. In with a slam. There's the pin on the other side now. Wow, I'll tell you what, KroniK are looking bloody good here. They really are. There's the pin on the far side. I think that's one of the members of KroniK pinning one of the members of Public Enemy. He's gone. Okay. KroniK do have the big advantage now then. We've got 2 members of KroniK, 1 member of Public Enemy, 1 member of the Nasty Boyz. Public Enemy's gone. KroniK's going to get it. Public Enemy lose the match, move down to a -1 after 3 matches. It's now 2-on-1. It's both members of KroniK versus Brian Knobbs. If Knobbs pulls this off, it's going to be an incredible turnaround. Let me update the ranking system. Rocco Rock with that loss moves down to a -1 after 3 matches, as does Johnny Grunge. And I mean, this is a matter of time, isn't it? Brian Adams and Brian Clark fully in control. I mean, I wanted KroniK to win, I'm not going to lie. But I also want the Nasty Boyz to win because I wanted WWF to be involved in this still. WCW now, though, have really caught up ECW in the last couple of days. Of course, they had 4 out of the 6 matches won for WCW yesterday. A win here is going to put them, like I said, joint top of ECW with 10 matches remaining. And WF need to win like 8 of those matches to have any chance of winning the overall tournament. But then again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I mean, it's very likely that KroniK are going to win. Oh my God. They've just sidewalk slammed him onto a trash can. If he can pull this off, Brian Knobbs, it's very unlikely it's going to happen, but we've seen stranger things happen on this game, haven't we? There's the pin. Very cheeky pin. Nope, it's not a pin. Okay. I mean, he had him pinned down. I don't know why referee didn't count it, to be honest with you, but look above their head now. Brian Clark, gorilla press. There's the pin, and that should be enough to get KroniK the victory. Boom, there we go. KroniK have won it on their debut as a tag team. Let's go into the tag team rankings once again then. The Nasty Boyz. They moved down to a 0 after 4 matches. And KroniK on their debut get themselves 3 points. 1 point for the victory and 2 bonus points in the tag division, which is going to move them up to a +3, which now puts them up into 26th position. Alongside 2 of the other teams that have debuted over the last couple of weeks and have won, which include Totally Buffed, the team of Lex Luger and Buff Bagwell, as well as TNA, Test and Albert. So into the singles rankings then, we have Brian Knobbs. I spelt it wrong. I missed the N, it said Coobs. Yeah, Knobbs and Sags both moved down to a 0 after 4 matches. But the 2 Bryans Brian Clark and Brian Adams on their debut, both getting a point and both moving up to a +1 in the singles division, as well as a +3 in the tag division. There we go. Ranking system's updated, and also it's another win for WCW, which now means that WCW join ECW at the top of this tournament with 14 victories apiece, with WWF 5 matches behind on only 9 wins. If we do get to the pay-per-view and it's a draw, we might have to do some sort of War Games-esque match to decide the winner. But at the moment, it's not going to be WF, is it? I mean, we've still got a few matches left for you today. We've got 5 more matches today. We've got 5 matches tomorrow. There's still every chance WWE can get back into it, but they really, really need a hell of a swing. I mean, since the last pay-per-view, we have done 3, 6, 9, 11, 17. We've done 18 matches since last Sunday, and WF have only won 4 of those 18 matches. Says a lot, doesn't it? Right, I'll love you and leave. Then up next, we have got Hakushi, the Great Muta, and Hayabusa in a #1 contendership for the All Asian Championship. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.